We are live. Here we go. Market metals, the levels you need to triage the market. HFR from the floor. Bobby Half, Mistrade, Matt Davio, the don't, the suspended. Matt, there is a whole lot of righteousness in the elite world going on right now, Matt, and I love watching it. We've been covering it for a while. The elites, breaking news, they trust each other more and more until they don't, and then they want to eat each other's young. Matt, from NBA basketball, NIH hoops at Duke hiring, PGA and the Live tournament looking to disrupt a whole lot of elites with their underwear in a bunch. What do you think?
Let's start with this, and I want you to comment on it. Draymond was shooting his mouth off after the first game. Then he had a big presser the day after, the day between, right? And he was basically saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, is what he was saying, right? And not so pleasant words. And then, so he really did look like a fool last night in some of these plays. He was throwing down people. He was doing his best to be as, Rick Mahorn. And he was just talking about Rick the day before. I'm like, don't discredit the bad boys. Like, don't, just because you're from Detroit, don't even go there.
And so his wife was upset that the fine patrons.
Yeah, his wife was there with the kids. His wife was there with the kids, and as Boston fans will do, F you, Draymond. Kind of like you, Draymond. And then she says, Warrior fans would never do that. I can't wait until they do it to whoever.
Matt, it's unbelievable. Like, you can't.
And I like Draymond. I like him. I think he's.
But this is where we're at. It's like rules for thee, not for me.
Like, he went to Michigan State, and I still like him. I like that type of play. I like guys that play defense and fucking, getting people's grills and getting their heads. I love that because he's smart. He knows that works and it doesn't bother him. Like, he can take the shit.
Exactly.
He doesn't care.
He is the McEnroe on the court.
Yeah.
I'm going to get
half of that theatrics is part of his game, and he's good at it. And he's a good player, and he can back it up too. That's why I like him.
All right,
but you said, they're all eating themselves. It's like, all right, well, you're bitter because you got smoked by 16 points.
Even your flop didn't help. Matt, this was interesting. We've talked about this. Duke now hiring a GM to oversee the players and the money system that they will be generating by playing at a major university. Man, you know what I thought would be interesting? Like, if they would take some of this, right, and use it like you can buy shares in the guy's future earnings. So the player says, listen, I'm going to offer up 5% of my future earnings. So you actually, when you buy something like this or you invest in this player.
Well, you're suggesting a royalty play that you and I can invest in today.
Exactly.
That's coming. There's no doubt that's coming. There's no doubt that's coming.
I mean,
and you should be able to trade it based upon what happened in last night's game.
Future deals, future revenue.
I mean, Matt, because there is a website called Royalty Exchange that allows you to buy, royalties on songs that have kind of come off label, and you can own those.
Exactly.
So now I don't think that most players are going to want to give up the control of this, but I think there's more money in it for them if they allow 300 million fans to, bid on their worth. Don't you think it would be worth even more?
For sure. 100%, Matt. If you let me share, because it's all about the money. And I wanted to share it, and let's talk about the ongoing drama, because that's what it is, in the world of the PGA. All right, this was from John Monahan, commissioner of the PGA. You're seeing that, right?
Yeah, Jay Monahan.
Jay, an elite. And somewhere in here, he says, you can do whatever you want. It's clearly money. like, we say on the floor, don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. Like
Right.
the PGA isn't only about money, 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 and their slice of it, and they own the market. Here's
Yeah.
their problem: is that it's a capitalistic world. And
I love the first comment. Did you see that? Go back to that.
Hold on.
The very first comment with the picture.
Look who just moved up 17 spots on the FedEx rankings. I'm going to talk about FedEx. Exactly. John Daly with the one-armed bandit.
I mean, picture of health, right? He matter of fact, he can't even walk anymore on these golf courses. You know that? They give him exemptions to get a cart.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I'm telling you, he's next on the Live tournament, because let me just point this out. The format: 12 teams, 48 players, 54 holes, 3 rounds, 8 events, no cuts, shotgun starts. We're going to shotgun some beers. Regular, you see, that's yada, yada, yada. Every stroke counts. So an individual will win. But then there's going to be drawings every week with captains, right? And you get to draw much more. I know you were a country club guy, much more like a country club situation. They're bringing the human element into it, right? They're going to
and we've talked about this. I would, I don't really like even the majors outside of watching just because it's Augusta. I'm not going to watch the PGA for 4 days. I could care less. I'm not going to watch. I'll watch the U.S. Open Sunday just because it's Father's Day all the time, and I get, that's my day to watch it. But give me a break. I don't really care. But I would care more if we had matchups. I would care more if we had a Ryder Cup thing going within the game and a solo thing, and you had to finish out. You can finish out Ryder Cup. You don't have to give me putts. You can still say, okay, if you get an 8 and I get a 6, and then we can play a stroke play too. You can have both games going, which is pretty cool.
It is cool, and what else is cool is the money. Let's talk about it. 25 million per event, 30 million individual. And
the last place is guaranteed 120 grand. So no cut, and you get 120 grand. I mean, why wouldn't you go to this league? If you don't make a cut in the PGA, you don't get anything, and you got to pay your way along the way too.
It's
brutal.
So my thought on the whole thing, Matt, was,
and I think the players would love this format. And
exactly. They're innovating the game, because who gives a shit about the John Deere Classic or the Royal Bank of Canada, the RBC Classic, which is this weekend.
Right.
And the guy wants to talk about our committed partners, and everybody's on the high horse because it's Saudi Arabia.
Damage control.
Oh, here we go though, Matt. This is from Real Clear Policy, the PGA's China problem. PGA Tour has several developmental circuits funded by the PGA in China. They were canceled at COVID-19, but they're unfazed by China's appalling human rights record, which currently accusations of brutal persecution of the Uyghur Muslim population.
Wait, so how much money did the PGA get from China during COVID?
I have 2 questions. RBC canceled Dustin Johnson. Does RBC do banking in Saudi Arabia and in China? Or
Probably.
do they, the Royal Bank of Canada? What do you think?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure they do. Even better though here, China's human rights lawyers are well documented. The PGA Tour's relationship, not so much. The PGA Tour's failure to file a 990 form disclosing its financial dealings with China's private equity firm, Yao Capital.
Yao.
Is that great? Not only are they dealing in China on their high horse saying Saudi Arabia money's dirty, but they're not even disclosing it to the proper authorities.
Oh, good.
Please rub me, Brandon. Stop pissing down my back and tell me it's raining. Matt, at the end of the day, who cares what we think, right? But there are things that we can look at that are golf associated. First of all, I think the best prop bet out there that isn't out there yet is who picks up the Live Sports League.
Well, those negotiations are going on
For sure, because
they're going on.
CBS. Oh, there was a bunch of tweets from people from CBS talking about the human rights violation. Everybody is. Listen, the legacy companies don't like competition. They don't.
They don't, because it's the same thing. Like I said to you, I think you and I could start a national championship NCAA football league if we got the right backers and just said, okay, this year we're going to have a we're going to go to a Sweet 16 model. The top 16 teams will be offered, and the NCAA will go, you can't do that. Then you don't have the governing body of the NCAA. Well, really? What does the governing body do? Suck money off of you. So if I just give it to your university now, who's going to care? Like, I can bypass the NCAA. NCAA offers nothing except for bullshit policing. They make the rules, decide what's good, what's bad, right? Get rid of them. We'll start all over. We can start a better system right today. We already have NILs. I don't need the NCAA anymore. What percentage of these kids do you think really want to go to school?
0.
No, I don't think that. But
I think they would just want to play sports. If they didn't have to go to class, they would.
But right. But how many of those? Like, let's say 50% really want to get a degree, maybe. And that's. I mean, what's the national average starting to finishing college? It's probably somewhere around 30 to 50%. Like, most people don't finish what they start when they start going to college, right? That's the truth. So why would it be any different in the sporting world?
We got Lee's pointing out in the LIV, we got a tournament in Portland. I think we should go, see if we can't get an LIV sponsorship.
Yeah, let's go on out there.
Let's go. Maybe the Rub Me Brandon can be the official ball of the LIV. the Shrimp Mojo LIV Rub Me Brandon ball.
Right.
We'll change it to the Rub Me PGA ball.
Yeah, so let's look at golf. Golf is, of course, the conglomerate that owns Titleist, and again, we talked about it probably, in the spring, and when that was kicking off around March Madness and Augusta time, and we've gone, we're pretty much where we were. So again, no surprise, we went a little bit lower, and that's where we are. So again, very bullish chart. I don't see how this can't go to COVID lows just because of the economy. Like, golf is not going to be.
Dude, I was thinking about that. Can you imagine? Like,
if I'm spending $300 to fill up my truck, do I have an extra $150 to go play? The course.
And think about it too. Like, listen. I know this being in Michigan and me in Chicagoland, you would routinely drive an hour and 10 minutes to go to a course to play.
Yeah, especially if they had some, price breaks, before 8 a.m. on Saturdays, I'd go. Hell yeah, I don't care.
For sure. But now you got to gas up the car, and all of a sudden it doesn't make any sense for the 2 hours to go play someplace where it's going to cost you a half a tank of gas.
Yeah. The other a couple names we'll look at here, Bob, Eli, which is Callaway, 37 was the high, the low, the COVID low was $492. Again, this is sold off, continued to sell off almost into value here for $17 or so, bouncing up here to 22. Again, I don't see how you can buy this with the economy heading where it's going. To me, it seems like an obvious short, should go back low, much lower. I mean, golf is the first thing you can cut. First of all, the time needed, the money needed to play the game. It's why this game struggles. Like, unless, it's just not for the masses. The game is never going to be for the masses. 60, and let's look at Nike, 60 to 180, and this has already crumbled back to the meat of the value. And this is just on a 610 chart. We're not even looking at the daily chart. But again, these things all have a long way to come back down still. Nike, again, are you going to buy new workout sweats and shirts and everything when you really don't need them? Probably not.
New golf shoes, new golf shirts.
Shoes, Nike balls, whatever you want to say, right? So, again, we're just getting into the value here around 100. We dipped down there to like 102, and that's, why it bounced. But the next time through, it's going to work through that profile. It'll take some time, but I think we will see lower prices and worse earnings coming from Nike also. So I don't see how that changes unless the world changes. And again, the world can change, but right now it doesn't look possible to me that that's going to change.
Right on, man. Right on. All right. The game last night, aside from Draymond's antics, Jason Tatum is becoming the best player in the league.
Those three guys, they're all good.
Unbelievable. And I just don't see how.
What's the other guy? Jaylen
Brown and
Jaylen Brown. Yeah, that guy's amazing.
By the way, my son and I have been talking about the all color, not colored, not necessarily black or white, the all color NBA team,
Yeah.
right? Because Draymond Green, he'd be on there, right?
Right.
You got white and brown.
Right.
You got white, brown, and green right now.
Definitely have black.
You got a black, and then there's red. And then I said, how about Derrick Rose? I mean, Rose is a color.
Yeah, it's a color. It's a color.
I often look through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, some of the things that you talk about when you're watching an NBA game.
I like that. It's good.
All right, Matt. You know what? Let's look at RBC's chart because I love that they could cancel Justin Johnson's affiliation. You know what Justin Johnson said, by the way?
No.
He said, I don't even know what it stands for.
RBC.
RBC.
And they were paying him?
Yeah, he had the RBC hat.
Oh my God.
I don't even know what it stands for. My father-in-law does. He's from Canada, but I'm not sure.
I can't find a chart. You got or a symbol. You got a symbol for me?
You talk about something else. Let me file. Royal Bank. Matt, why don't you look at a banking ETF?
I can do that. That's easy, but I don't know what that's going to do. We haven't looked at the XLF though in a while, but I'm happy to do that. XLF peaked out here, 4090. This again is a daily chart. No, it peaked out a little higher. And that was early this year, 41, 42, 80, 42. And is already off 20%, 34. The low, the COVID low for the XLF, was down here around $17. So didn't, a little bit more than a double. Value and the point of control is somewhere down here at 28. So we're definitely going there. And we're currently trading 34. And you just had a nice bounce as the market bounced to 35. So you went from, 10% bounce like the rest of the market, 32 to 35. But again, I sound like a broken record, but I can't I can't stop myself from seeing these charts, Bob. And these charts tell me that we got a long way to go. I mean, it's and it's hard when we're in this, like, we've been in this zone here for 2+ weeks, just waiting for rollover, Fed meeting next week, monthly options expire next week. You got quarterlies coming up, right, all this stuff. You got the expiration. Yeah, the S&P, readjustment. All this happens between now and the end of the month. And I think these things are just pausing us from going either way, but the trend is still down. And I think eventually we catch up to that and the earnings come in, and the earnings aren't going to be good. I mean, they're just not, they can't be good, Bob. They can't.
All right, Matt,
unemployment is on the rise again. Again, the jobless numbers are not looking good, and we never ever recovered. So, for Biden to tell us the economy's cooking, like, again, why are you pissing down our back and telling us it's raining?
It's unreal. Matt, Royal Bank is RY. RY. Let's look at the high horse of the Royal Mounted Bank.
Well, it's basically like a state bank now, right? It's not even private, or rather it's, it's public, but it's obviously run by Justin Trudeau, I would say, right? If this is the type of thing that's going on.
How about the some Canadian ministers said that your private property rights aren't set in stone anymore in Canada.
Yeah, it's a good place to live. Good place to live.
All right, Royal Bank of Canada.
Peaked with the rest of the banks in January, 120, and has traded as low as 96. So again, 25% haircut already. Little bounce here to 105. Currently or 107. Currently at 104. Bob, we just entered the value zone when it made that new low. We just entered it. So
and we entered again. Look out, baby.
Why couldn't we get back down to 54? Why couldn't we?
Half off sale.
Half off.
Well, it goes there for sure if they follow through with their high horse attitude and cut complete ties, not with Justin Johnson, but with every regime that abuses human rights, including Canada's.
Right.
They got to Harry carry themselves right there. Close the bank. We can have no affiliation with oppressive regimes. Canada being one of them. Unreal.
Oh, did you see you had the Trudeau transport minister again was struggling to justify why they still have these vaccine mandates for travel in and out of Canada. Why are they still in place? The guy couldn't even answer it. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, listen, Matt, Liv needs to bring the Liv Golf League needs to bring who's our guy that was in front of the bandit machine? Come on. I got some timers right now. John Daly. They need John Daly because he needs to be a captain. He needs to be smoking grits and like asking guys questions like what happened this week? Like are you in a fight with the wife? Did you just give up cigarettes or alcohol? I haven't, but I want to know if you have.
That would be good. I mean,
right?
Honestly, that's the other thing the PGA does is it kind of it is a club and it is an elite club, and they don't allow that type of story to get to the press. And I think that's definitely intentional. I mean, it doesn't happen think about that in the NBA. It's not, in the NFL.
Well, in the NBA, you can't talk bad about China.
No, but nor can you in the NFL, nor can you speak out against the owners, right? Or you get red striped. You get a red stripe on your helmet, which just means he's got to be tackled harder that week. In the NFL.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
The thing that bugs everyone, I think, to an absolute T is the hypocrisy of it all. And it's so money. He put it in the statement, money. Like, what do you have sponsors? You know what? Since the PGA is not about money,
right.
How about Market Vitals becomes a sponsor for no money? And you put us on the TV every Saturday and Sunday during your broadcasts because you're not about money.
Yeah. Just put the Rub Me Brandon brand brought to you by
Mind your Shrimp Mojo Rub. The unpaid affiliate. Hypocrisy. Wow. Let's go back to Lou Reed and what he said. Lou Reed said, people selling people pound by pound and politicians and clowns, they're one and the same. And the do-gooders with their frowns. Lou, from the grave, how does that not make it on the album? Too cutting? I don't know. Red Stripe, okay, beer. I don't even know. I think Lee's drunk. Lee's drunk in the production room.
I mean, I guess he doesn't understand that, the big kids and toddler football get red striped, right? They can't run the ball, pass the ball, tackle the ball. Or no, they can still tackle. That's the interesting thing. Like the red stripers can still demolish the little guys.
Yeah, but you're only allowed one or two red stripers on the field at any time.
And they can't carry the ball or be offensive, but they can demolish the small little guy which just sets up for like, what are you doing here? You should let the big guy at least run, and then the little guys can just get plowed because they're getting plowed the other way anyways.
I mean, all of my portly big friends growing up, a lot of them anyway, ended up playing rugby because of that exact reason.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, I get to carry the ball.
All right.
I gotta get to carry the ball. Yeah.
I mean, every 250-pound man like me wants to be the fullback. Hell yeah. Right. I'll carry the ball. You want to try to tackle me? Go for it. I don't care.
Let's go. All right, man.
I will deliver my rule in football is as long as I'm delivering the pain, I'm good with the game.
Yeah, it's when you get ear hauled that you don't like it so much.
I want to be the linebacker, pretty much. That's what I want to do. I want to smack your head in.
All right. Everybody's sitting and
as a good friend of mine, one of the many ex-NFL players that we had coaching our kids here in our town said to me one time, and he was an All-American captain in college. I won't tell you where he went, but he was an All-American defensive captain of a national championship team, said to me, where else can you have aggravated assault 3 on every play and be cheered?
Yes. You know what I was going to talk about today? And oh my goodness, I can't even remember the name of it now. The Evolution of Us, please, on Amazon.
Well, he wants us to talk about the youthful hockey. We'll reiterate. Game 5 tonight, back in New York. Tampa Bay 3-2. Final
That's got to be an under. And by the way, the Draymond Green over under fouls went over as he fouled out in his performance. They had that at 4.5. Like
And he had 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
shit, that would have been an easy over. I wish I would have seen that.
Yeah.
I took $1. I took $1 on Golden State
For
I
last
lost.
night.
money line.
Money. You also took gave a 20 to 1 on the dollar index going to 105, and we're creeping, Matt.
We got to 103.
We're creeping. Better today than it was yesterday. Davio will pay.
I will pay $20. That is correct.
Please do yourself a favor. Go to Amazon Prime and watch The Evolution of Us. And they talk about how important DNA and changes in DNA are. And Matt, did you know that the Mongols were they think the first group of people that developed the ability to digest milk? Everybody was lactose intolerant until the Mongols developed this gene that allowed them to not get sick from drinking milk.
And what did they do?
So listen to me. So when they fought the Chinese had 10 times the number of soldiers than the Mongols, except they were on a strictly, basically vegetarian diet, and they had to roll all the rice with them, right? It's just a huge undertaking to bring the food with the army.
Right.
The Mongols were riding horses, milking them, and drinking the milk.
Really?
Yes, it's an incredible story of your vegan, and Lee, no offense here, but when it comes fighting time, the vegan army is going to get smoked.
Yeah.
By the meeting army.
They're
by
done.
the protein army.
They're done.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Very, very peculiar thing that I had never known until I watched this 2-part documentary.
Watch that one on Jekyll Island that I put in there for you this morning.
I watched it this morning.
What'd you think of that?
I thought it was almost as bad as what's the island that they were looking for the
island of Dr. Moreau?
No, I forget the 9 seasons of them looking for treasure. Oh, so brutal. All right, that's what we got. Hey, you know what I did, Matt, today? I rewatched some of our introduction course at Market Vitals. And I really needed it because it reminded me of some of the things that I supposedly hold dear that I forget about trading. So please visit us at Market Vitals.
Well, like when we're in a market like this, take the day off because there's
I said it to myself. Everybody's waiting for CPI.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a lot of momentum here. The momentum was overnight.
And you had 2 chances to sell it. You had one overnight, one again today. We're not going up with the CPI tomorrow. And then tomorrow, however, again, it's all how it reacts at 5:30 a.m. here on the West Coast. It's all what happens after the number that matters. It's not what the number is. It's how it reacts after, right?
Right on, baby.
Be in the now.
You got to trade the market in front of you.
Be in the now.
We talked about that in the intro course at Market Vitals, and somehow I forget it all the time. The dentist from Kansas City, right here, HFR. All right, listen. You can join us.
The blackjack player from Topeka, as I like to say. Exactly. She hits on the 19s and fills them all day.
My friend Carmen, why are you hitting on 18? Because I thought I had to beat everyone at the table. No, you just got to beat the dealer.
I'm playing like the dealer.
And Carmen says, if you know so much, how come I'm up more money than you?
Because you're taking my cards, mother effer.
You got a point there, Carmen. Thank you very much. All right, listen, let's all wish on the PGA finding their soul and cutting all ties with China in solidarity with the Uyghur Muslim population that is brutally being reprogrammed. Anyway, let's
a lot of reprogramming going on, Sam.
A lot of reprogramming. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share, retweet, and plagiarize. We incur plagiarizing, and I can't wait to watch some of the. I thought the Live tournament was going to be televised on its
Did you try the crack stream?
Livegolf.com, but I don't see it. I don't see it here.
Did you try the buff streams at all?
I have not. I don't know where. Maybe it's on a YouTube channel. I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, it's got to be. I mean,
my money's on Fox, by the way.
isn't it done already? Because it would be somewhere around midnight there, wouldn't it be?
Well, it's 8 hours ahead of us.
8 hours.
It'll be 10.
Oh, no.
It's 8 hours ahead of.
I was thinking Saudi Arabia, not London.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
the games in London or the matches in London.
Right on.
So it's in London.
But
And
next
then-
2 weeks, it's in Portland. I think we should.
2
go
weeks,
to-
really?
I think so. Yeah. Hold on
Oh,
a
wow.
second. Let me.
Why don't you bring up that schedule for us since
Hold
you're all over this story?
I am all over this story.
I'm looking at the events. Yeah, we go London, Portland's the first stop, June 2nd to June 30th to July 2nd. Oh, we're definitely going up to Pumpkin Ridge. Hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we got.
And then they go to Trump's. I love it. Then they're going to Trump's National Golf Club, Bedminster. Then they're going to Boston in September. Then they got Chicago in September too, Bobby.
Little Rich Harvest Farms up in Lake
Yeah.
Forest, another elite area of the country.
Yeah, then they end at the Blue Monster, which is again another Trump course. Very interesting. Very.
It is kind of interesting, isn't it? Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow. All right, listen.
So business guys get this. Got it. And then they do one in the Mideast. That's it. So and then they got one in Asia in Bangkok, and then again they end in Miami. That's pretty cool.
Lee is saying that it's on livegolf.com, but I'm on Live Golf. That's what this is, and I don't see it anywhere.
I see a watch button, but
Where's the watch button?
all the way to the right on the tab, and
Amazing.
it's
first
actually
day.
live.
Golf is good, absolutely happy. Not too far
Bring
away.
it up.
Can you imagine sleeping on the lead with $4 million at the end of the rainbow in 48 hours? I'd be thinking of the 40 points on it.
Was that DJ? That's DJ, right?
I can't understand the scoreboard at all here. So you tell me.
It's gonna take time. Look at that.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, guys.
God, does that remind me of me?
I know. Better than that, my friend. Better than that.
And again, if they really want to get this going here, you need to have,
Hole 17. He's a clean.
live gambling right now. He's on the green or he's off with
Yeah.
money against money.
I'm surprised Davy Boy's not on that. This would be a great time to.
Exactly. The way
Jump in with that
technology
model.
works. Exactly.
By the way, did you see him doing pillow reviews now?
Tell me when he's doing pillow biting reviews.
You did the pillow guy. What's the pillow guy? The Trump guy?
Yeah.
He did his
Hi.
pillow and he gave it a
Hi.
9 out of 10.
My pillow guy. Yeah.
My pillow guy.
All right, listen. Mike Lindell.
Yeah.
Lee in the production truck has been Lee. Listen, there's no money in this for you yet, but I actually see a world where there is. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
All right, maybe we can get Manja TV to sponsor us. Anyway, the Rub Me Brandon ball not available unless you talk to me personally. I have a few sleeves available if you really would like one. Reach out, baby. Join us at marketvetals.io. Thank you, Matt. What a great show.
Bob, as always, my pleasure.
Thank you,
And,
Lee.
We thank you for your leadership.
Take me to your leader. You imagine if the aliens do land and they're like, take me to your leader, and we're pointing out Joe Biden. Actually, it's probably good because they'll probably just leave the planet. Like, this is the leader. This guy's an idiot. How can he be the leader? This place sucks. We're gone. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Have a good one, Bobby.